Hare Krishna. Okay, let's try to worship a few minutes of our life that we receive from Guru Varga Mahaprabhu. It's the truth. Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Puradasi Trina Pikhayoti Dino Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Puradasi Trina Pikhayoti Dino Sakala Sahani Oldiya Koro Nijamani Priyayina Sakala Sahani Oldiya Koro Nijamani Priyayina Kore Samma Kurite Sati Devana Kojata Sakale Samani Kurite Shakati Devana Jata Jata Ave to Gaibo Harinama Sukhe Aparadho Have Hata Ove to Gaibo Harinama Sukhe Aparadha Have Tata hoibe nata Bhakti buddhihin ami atidin Bhakti buddhihin ami atidin Paramore atmasatha Paramore atmasatha Yogyata vichare kichu nahi pai Tomaro koruna kaya Yogyata vichare Nai Pai Toramakar Nashara Karuna na haile Saniya Kariya Karuna na haile Kariya Kariya Pranara Chivohara Karuna na haile Kariya Pranara Chivohara Karuna na Kariya Kariya Pranana Chivohara Jai Gurudev Jai Gurudev Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudev Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Hare Krishna. Okay, chapter 18, verse. We finished the three kinds of determination, right?
The three kinds of determination?
Yep, we read through verse 45.
Yes.
Haribol.
Okay. Verse 35. Okay, so determination is goodness. With good determination of goodness, you control your own mind, you control your own life airs, and you control your senses. That's determination in goodness. You control yourself and the aspects of yourself. Your mind, your prana, and your senses. That's determination of goodness. Determination and passion is you push yourself to amass wealth and fulfill your desires. That's determination and passion. So determination and goodness is internal. You start to control this thing. Determination and passion is external. I want stuff. Determination of ignorance is the determination that this will control you, but you have to allow that. There's something from you that's actually giving that strength. And that's, you don't give up sleep, you don't give up fear, you don't give up sorrow, you don't give up depression, you don't give up arrogance. That's determination and ignorance. So that's what we just last read. 3 types of determination. Very instructive. Where's your determination going? Toward keeping your bad qualities controlling you, or moving a little bit higher to passion, starting to control things, you want stuff, right? Amass wealth, or control yourself, control your mind, control your prana, control Hare Krishna, the senses, control the senses.
We could also say that determination of the nature of ignorance is the determination to give up, in a way.
It is, but it takes, like when you feel depressed, it takes, depression can't exist unless it gets energy from you. So you have a certain type of determination where you keep giving that energy. Right? Nothing can exist in you unless you give it energy. For example, if you feel angry all the time, you're giving that energy. That's the only way it can exist. It can't exist from other than by you wanting to continue to give it existence. You have to. Otherwise it doesn't have any existence if you don't continue to feed it. So that's an ignorant determination. Very, very helpful. Okay, then 35.
What page?
So we read 35. 36, 37,
Page?
page 305. And then we can read 38, 37, 38. Wait, 36, 37, 38, and 39. Okay. Sukham tridanim tridridham shrinu me bharatarshabha abhyasad ramate yatra dukkhantam cha nigacchati yattad agre vishamiva pariname mritopamam Sat sukham satvikam proktam atma buddhi prasadajam vishayendriya samyogad yattad agre mritopamam variname vishamiva tat sukham rajasam smritam Yadagre chanubandhe cha sukham mohanam atmana nidrasya pramadathadotham tattamasam udaridam. O Bharatarshabha, now hear from me about the 3 kinds of happiness. That state in which one is joyful through his practice while attaining the cessation of all unhappiness. And what's in the beginning is like poison, but ultimately like nectar, which is born of the purity of self-realization. That happiness is said to be of the nature of goodness.
That's a good one. That's a sweet important. Because, you know, in the practicing life, it is joyful, but there are things which, you know, are challenging. But we remember, yeah, this is maybe challenging, but it is for a high purpose, and we can hold, you know, keep determined. Anyway, we've been talking about this quite a lot. Sorry.
That happiness which is born of the contact of the senses with their objects, which is like nectar in the beginning, but poison in the end, is said to be happiness of the nature of passion. That happiness which is self-deception from beginning to end, and which arises from sleep, laziness, and illusion, is called happiness of the nature of ignorance. Pretty easy to remember axiom. Mode of goodness, you don't like it in the beginning, but in the end you feel very gratified. Mode of passion, you love it in the beginning, but in the end you're in misery. And mode of ignorance, you're totally deluded from the beginning to the end. When you're lazy and you like it, and you're lazy, you like it more. And in the end, you're just crashing down. Okay, verse 40, 41, 42. Natad asti prithivyam va divi deveshu va punaha sattvam prakriti jair muktam yadevi syatribhi gunai Brahmana kshatriya visham Shudranam cha parantapa Karmani pravibhaktani Svabhava prabhavai gunai Shamo damastapa shaucham Kshantirarjavam evacha Jnanam vijnanam aslikyam Brahma karma svabhavajam. And we can finish 43 and 44 as well. Shauryam tejo dhriti raksham yudhe chapyapalayanam dhanam ishvara bhavascha shatram karma svabhavajam. Krishi Gorakshavanicam Vaishyakarma Svabhavajam Paricharyatmakam Karma Shudrasyapi Svabhavajam. Okay, nuns. 40 to 44.
Me? Amongst all species on earth, including the humans, or amongst even the celestial gods in the heavenly plane, there is no entity that can be free from these three modes which are born of material nature. Excuse me. O Parantapa, according to their natures, the duties of the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras are appropriately classified. Internal and external sense control, austerity, purity, forbearance, straightforwardness, knowledge, realization, and theistic mentality. These are the natural duties of the Brahmins. Prowess, valor, endurance, dexterity, never retreating in battle, generosity, and regality. These are the characteristic duties of the Kshatriyas. Agriculture, cow protection, and trade are the natural work of the Vaishyas, and natural to the Shudras is service to the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, assisting them in their various works.
Yeah, very helpful to understand these types of qualities. Because our society right now admires a Vaishya mentality, which is just do trade, do a business, and make money. But there's higher ideals of life. Kshatriya is higher, because you have some giving. It's necessary for you to sacrifice. You have to have prowess, take sacrifice. You have to have valor, which means courage. You're ready to risk your body, risk your life. As a tradesperson doesn't necessarily want to do that. Yeah. They generally want somebody else to do that. They want to make money. But that's why they shouldn't be at the top of the society. Someone who's willing to fight or die for something should be above them. Never retreating in battle. Why? You stand for what you stand for. Dexterity, they're very dexterous people. Endurance, they can go through much. Generosity, they receive some wealth, they're ready to give it. Right? The tradesperson wants to hold it. And they have higher principles, so those people have to be above. But then there has to be something above them, because those are also not the highest qualities. The highest qualities are who's actually controlling themselves, who actually has some touch with the thing that's beyond the waves of the senses. Internal and external sense control. Austerity, purity, forbearance, straightforwardness, knowledge, realization, theistic mentality. That's the Brahmanas. So ultimately the Kshatriyas are the administrators, and the Brahmanas have to be the people who are guiding them with taking the whole society to some higher place. We're not close to that right now. And that's okay. We have to also try to be a little bit of a higher person inside of ourselves. Then?
May I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between internal and external sense control?
Let me look at the Sanskrit.
In 42.
Shama and Dhamma. Okay, so that means there's two planes of experience of the senses. One is the plane of the body that is experiencing the sense. So external sense control means to control the body. But the second thing is that all your senses ultimately are experienced by a layer of consciousness that's in the background populated by your soul, but it's your mind. So your mind is receiving the actual sense experience, right? There's a physical sense of experience, meaning the wavelengths, the frequencies are being experienced by your body, but then there's a Dhamma, there's an internal experience of what those frequencies are. So there's two layers to senses, your body and your mind. So like, there's the layer where like you feel the sense of touch, then there's the layer where your mind is going, yeah, I like that, I don't like that, right? And controlling both of those toward a higher purpose, that's internal and external sense control. And Shama and Dhamma are, if you read them, you'll read them and they're almost always said together. It's just actually explaining a far more sophisticated understanding of sense experience. Because sense experience is more than just the data receptor. It's more than just the sense. It has to be experienced internally. So we're in a body, our external is experiencing the sense. I'm just thinking of a sense of touch. But that external is not the only experience of it. There's an internal experience of it as well. Mm-hmm. And both of those are what create the sense experience. Mm-hmm. And our internal experience generally has a sense of judgment with it. right? And we have our unique senses of it, where somebody might eat something and be like, wow, that's amazing. And another person might eat and go like, ugh, I hate this. You know what I mean? But it's the same sense experience. So that internal sense, that's the Dhamma, where you have a sense experience that may need to get controlled, which is not just the external experience that has to get controlled. So it's just a very sophisticated way of viewing it.
And they're both related, right? The external sense perception depends on the internal.
They're both a part of what it means to experience your senses in this plane of experience. So controlling one without controlling the other, for example, is not controlling them. Right? You can't. It's not just that you're controlling. I'm not going to touch this. There's an internal sense of it that you also have to be the master of. And sometimes it is, I'm not going to touch this. That's external sense control. And sometimes is, I'm touching this and I'm receiving a particular sensation, but that sensation I'm not going to let dictate itself to me. Right? I'm going to pass through that. So for example, part of austerity is you are experiencing internally a sense experience that your mind doesn't like. And to internally control that sense experience is internal control. You see what I'm saying? So your external senses are giving you a sensation that you don't want internally, and you're just controlling the internal while you allow the external to continue to happen to it. But sometimes you're externally wanting to feel some sense experience, and the control of it is to stop feeling that externally. Right? So to be able to do both of those is internal and external sense control.
That's awesome. I've never thought of it like that.
It's very sophisticated, and this isn't even like the point, but it's just showing that such a deep understanding of the translation of the physical to the mental, and ultimately how consciousness is the real integer in the whole system.
Thank you, bro.
It's a good question. Okay. Then, very deep idea. So Krishna's starting to go a little bit deeper now. Coming up. We will read from 45 to 48. Sve sve karmanyabhirataha samsiddhim labhate naraha swakarma nirata siddhim yatha vindati tatshrinu yataha pravritti bhutanam jena sarvam idam tatam swakarmana tam abhyarchya siddhim vindati manavaha shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat svanushthitat svabhava niyatam karma kurvannatnoti kilbisham sahajam karma kaunteya sadosham apina tyaje sarvarambha hi doshena dhumenagnivaritaha.
One who devotes himself to his own duty attains perfection in self-knowledge. Now hear from me how a person attains perfection through devotion to his own duty. A man achieves perfection by worshipping, through his prescribed duties, the Supreme Lord from whom all beings originate, by whom all beings are engaged, and who, individually and collectively, pervades the entire universe. One's own duty, though imperfect, is better than another's executed well. Sin is never incurred by a man fulfilling the duty prescribed according to his nature. O Kaunteya, even though it may be imperfect, one should not give up the duty prescribed according to his nature. Verily, all action, karma, is generally covered by imperfection, as fire is covered by smoke.
Very amazing, very beautiful. I just was reading. Guru Maharaj was watching a video. Where was I seeing this? And Guru Maharaj was specifically speaking about verse 47, Shreyan Swadharmo Viguna. Oh man. He's saying this is the most difficult thing. What is the right way to decide your duty or not your duty? He said this is very refined thing. But there's a very, very deep, these verses are very profound. Ultimately, Krishna is saying, 45 and 46, you can attain perfection by just focusing on your duty. Why? Because there is a source of pravritti. There's a source of all the impetus within the world. And if you're being asked to do something, that's coming from a very high place, actually. And you have to give yourself to that force that maintains all of this reality. And Krishna is ultimately saying, super soul, my own manifestation, a super soul, Krishna's own, not my own. But his own manifestation is super soul. That's how you attain perfection. Because all of this stuff that you find yourself surrounded by and that you're being asked to do is not coming from nowhere. It's actually coming from the prime source that causes all other impetus. So you have to do your duty. That's in front of you. And don't look around and think, but I could do this other thing so much better. If it's in front of you to deal with, that's your progression. That's your path of progression. And it's not about some external idea of doing it well or not. Your own personal path goes through this set of progressions. And Krishna is saying, so do your duty. Don't look at other people's duties and go, well, I could do that better, so I'm going to do that one. Because your contribution and your advancement comes in dealing with what you have to do in front of you. Very, very, very deep ideas. So Krishna is saying you're always going to be able to find some fault in the external way that action manifests within the world. That's not the point. The point is that you are never giving up what it is for you to contribute to. What it is for you to deal with. What it is for you to pass through. What it is for you to participate in. Be a part of. There's something that's being asked of you that you're a part of that you should never shirk from. And it's a very profound idea. Krishna's asking something like this in the end.
Yeah. That challenges the idea that modern society encourages to choose, which is do whatever makes you happy. Or choose where you feel.
Earlier in the Gita, Krishna says, there are 4 kinds of people that find me, and one of them is the seeker of happiness. So if you're actually seeking anything real, actually. Ultimately, you're going to find Krishna. But, you know, Guru Maharaj is encouraging a deep look at what you find yourself in the midst of. You know, I remember being at work and like really hating it for certain years, like hating it. And, you know, one of Guru Maharaj's advice is for kind of trying to find this out. Shreyan Swadharma. Swadharma means this is my actual contribution. This is my actual dharma. Right? How do you find what that is? It's a very profound thing, especially in a modern age where it's not like, you're a Vaishya, take care of this herd of cows. You know what I mean? It's not like that. It's not so clean and simple, and it's not like you're just born with hey, this is your contribution. Right? You're seeking, you're searching for it, but also it's searching for you. And one of the principles that Srila Guru Maharaj says, which I try to take from, which is, you're not in your circumstance randomly. You're in your circumstance because Krishna put you there. So be hesitant to leave that circumstance. Let it give to you what it intends to give to you. Let yourself make the progress that is contained within this circumstance. And also let yourself make the contribution that's being asked of you in the circumstance that you're in. Because in that is that thing that you're searching for. You think you're searching for all these other things, but really what you're searching for is perfection. And your perfection is found in doing your duty. So I would think that even though I hate my boss and I don't like, you know, blah, 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 it's like, I'm going to see this through. And it's interesting because we don't understand who we are, and we also don't understand where our weak points are until they become exposed. And we also don't know what Krishna wants us to become. And generally, if it's something that we don't currently idealize or currently even have never even experienced, we can't imagine who Krishna wants us to become. And so there's this feeling of trust in giving yourself to your circumstance that let me, you know, you're praying to the Lord, but you're praying to the service energy that surrounds you. You're praying to your circumstance. You're praying to the whole energy that puts you in this particular position. Let me become who you want me to be. Let me actually be utilized. And let me be who you wish me to be. You know, whatever I need to become to participate in the next circumstance that you put in front of me, let me be that. So that you can overcome your egotistic resistance with this false set of components that we call ourselves. Because that's not a permanent thing, and that's not reliable. It's not a reliable definition of ourselves. It's going to be filled with limitation and egotistic junk, right? Our self-identity is full of foreign things that we're calling who we are. They're not really us. So, anyways, it's a very, very profound idea being given in this. I really wish, I almost want to try and do a search here on this amazing little app that Malaysian devotee helped me download called Krishna Search. I'm going to see if there is a search, because you can search all of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev's books for a certain verse. So I'm going to look up Shreyan Swadharma. Swadharma.
Or any transcription, or just what's been published in the books?
It's in all the books that are in the library, but it's almost every book. Also, it has Saraswati Thakur's Prakrita Rasa Shatabhushani, Relative Worlds, Rai Ramananda. It has like 5 books of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and so you can just put a search term in there, and it gives you like all the.
I have it, but I haven't.
Oh, it's incredible.
I got it onto my phone, but I didn't.
It's got
I haven't gotten
auto-corrected.
it onto my computer yet.
Jaya Mahaprabhu, Shri Jaya Mahaprabhu, Shreyan Swadharma. Search. Okay, that did not work. Search. Okay, I'm just going to look up Swadharma then. Maybe if I go Shreyan, S-H.
SRE?
I did SR, let me just do Shreyan. Shreyan. Oh, here we go. There's a ton of them. Oh, it's only in Bhagavad-Gita. Oh, that is interesting. So that means I must have seen it in a video, and it hasn't been published.
Oh. Can you add stuff?
No, because it's only the books that are in there.
That's the one that I posted that from Keshava? Or is this different?
I don't remember.
Do you think it will be in one of the poems of Sermons of the Guardians?
And Swadharma is a deep idea because it means your natural duty, your internal contribution, or your internal nature even.
So,
But yeah, anyways, that's what Guru Maharaj is literally talking about this. He's saying this is the hard thing. What is Shreyan Swadharma?
So now we're trying to follow Mahaprabhu. And this, I'm asking a question. And so, as a devotee of, in the Rupa Nuga line, we're following our gurus and trying to follow the life of surrender given by Mahaprabhu in so many different circumstances in surrender. But so many things can come, and we are trying to perform what we think we should be doing in that in that surrendering environment, in the environment with my mood of trying to surrender. And this is what I'm thinking, that that in the course of doing that, many things come in front of us, like you're saying, and just trying to think, you put this in front of me, my Lord. Now what am I to do?
Yeah.
Or what do you want me to do now? It seems like that's the kind of what, in our present time, and also in a very fortunate time, being in, under the great devotees of Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami. And that's what would apply to this verse, is the duty that's coming in front of us. Like you were saying that, really. But always in the context of the service of Guru and Varanga. Right? And I mean, there's like some things come in front that are just like, well, I don't know I don't like this. I don't know what to do about this. I don't appreciate, whatever. But then later, if I can get some calmness, then I can think, oh no, my Lord, you put this in front of me. You brought this to my front. Now, I bow down to you, and what is it that I'm to do? Or what, not, I just bow down to you. You show me my seva, or whatever it is, my adjustment, or my...
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, ultimately we will become a being who is attuned to that.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to be whatever is needed at any moment. In the end of Sermons 1, Guru Maharaj calls that Kama Rupa.
Oh.
That's a high thing,
Yeah.
but actually it comes from the humble practice of your own existence.
Right.
And not seeing it as separated, and being willing to make the egotistic change that's needed to become a person who thrives in your new circumstance.
Kama Rupa meaning this is the form of my desire to serve.
This is the form of your desire needed from me.
Yeah, right.
Hare Krishna. Not in the negative way of kama, but in the positive way, that the supreme desire needs something of me, and I will attain the form that is needed. I will take the form of what is needed to fulfill that desire. So Guru Maharaj actually says this is the prospect of the follower of Mahaprabhu. Because outside of Mahaprabhu, the highest concept of attainment of the soul was called Sambandha Rupa, which means you take a Rupa that is in the form of a particular relationship, which means, Vatsalya, Sakhya, etc. And that form is just who you are permanently. But Guru Maharaj is giving a deeper idea that actually Madhura Lila is at the basis of all other relationships. And that your approach to infinity should always be in Madhura Lila. But whatever is needed in that Madhura Lila mood, you can take on any type of bhava and be feeling that Madhura Rasa in the bottom of it all. Because ultimately what is underlying everything in Vrindavan is Madhura Rasa. So your willingness to be whoever is needed in the play, Guru Maharaj said, is the most beneficial thing. Because then you will have a place. Anyways, these are very high things. But we don't know these things unless Guru Maharaj is saying these things. This practice, at our basic level, where we're at of like, what do I do in my life because I'm in this particular circumstance? And this willingness to become who you need to become. To do your duty perfectly in the new circumstance that you find yourself is real sadhana. And it's meaningful. And it's a freaking exciting idea of life. Because the other thing Guru Maharaj said is, you do your duty perfectly. And examine yourself. Am I doing it perfectly? That's fun. So it's an exciting way to live. Who doesn't want to live like that? Of course we're going to fall short. But you're going to fall short of trying. Not just be some lazy default whiner of whatever circumstance you find yourself in, but it be filled with the supreme positivity. Oh, I'm needed now in this difficulty, in this thing that I feel so unfamiliar with. And everybody's going through that. You know, one of the things that happens when someone gets promoted in a job that's super, super common, it's called imposter syndrome. Is that they're looking around and going like,
Do I look like this?
Does anyone, everybody knows, I don't know what the frickin' hell I'm doing. Right? Everybody knows, and like, I shouldn't even be here. Why am I even doing this? Because you feel yourself being put into a circumstance that you're not qualified for. That you don't know what's going on. Guess what? You're not alone. You keep going into that. And let the environment and the Lord and whoever it is fill you up with what's needed for you to do what you need to do in that circumstance.
Oh gosh.
You don't understand your own capability, actually, is what's happening. And your little limitation mind, your little Maya mind, remember, Vaikuntha means no limitation. The Maya mind is what Guru Maharaj says, what? To measure. What does to measure mean? The minute you measure it, you've limited it. Here's the thing. It's this. It's not that. Its potential is this, or that, or that, or... You know what I mean? You're dealing with a fluctuating ball of infinity, but the minute you measure it, you go, oh, that's what it is. Well, guess what? You do that to yourself all the time. You look at yourself and you go, this is who I am. I'm the person who can't do that. I'm the person who doesn't clean. That's who I am. You know what I mean? And you put yourself in a little box. Remember, yo yat shraddhasa evasa. I'm the guy who can't lead. I'm the guy who can't do this. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, you put yourself on a little label, right? I can't speak well. I don't know this language. I've never been to Germany. I can't preach in Germany. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is, your mind is going to come up with some little measured label that makes perfect, total, rational sense, and then you're going to live in that prison. Yo yashraddhasa evasa. You just made that an article of your faith of who you are intrinsically. Right? But when you have this idea of, I am who you want me to be, well, they're the infinite. So you present yourself and say, I always think of this story of this devotee, Shivananda, who was like 19 or 20 or something, and Prabhupada said, go to Germany. He doesn't speak German. You know what I mean? And he's freaking 20 years old. I mean, can you really imagine that? If I was 20 years old and Prabhupada said, go to Germany, I would never go to Germany. I'd just be like, yeah, me, no. But he's just whatever you want me to do, whatever you like, and then what happens? You receive the quality and the people and everything else to actually make something happen there. And that's living in a little bit of a bigger thing, and it's trusting the circumstance. I'm just going to go, and I'm going to see. And I think, that willingness of presenting yourself to fulfill whatever role it is in a die-to-live way, in a Marobi Rakobi way. Well, maybe you're sending me there and I'm going to get killed. And I'm also okay with that, if that's the service. You know what I mean? To trust absolute good so completely that you feel Marobi Rakobi and you're ready to go into that next circumstance. That's a particular type of posture toward the infinite that we're, in my view, we're being asked to take. I mean, according to our own, internal navigation and feeling. But I mean, I've seen so many people get placed into circumstances where they're just like, I am completely unqualified and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And then they just keep going. And then they become the person who can do that thing over and over and over and over again. So, Hare Krishna. Anyways, that's one view of this. Because Guru Maharaj is ultimately saying the only thing that's impelling anything is Krishna. Krishna is Kama Bija. And this willingness that for you, Kling Kamadeva, Kling Krishnaya, Govindaya, Gopijana Vallabhaya Swaha, that's called Kama Bij Mantra. It means it's for you, to you, to you, to you, to you, to you. And like willingness to go into that. And then navigating that. Because in that video that we were talking about, that I was talking about Mata, it's like that's what Guru Maharaj is saying. What is it?
What is
the Swadharma? He said, this is the hard part. Shreyan means it's better. What's the better Swadharma? Right? Because now you're in this circumstance where it's like, I think I need to maintain who I am, and this other thing is coming in the environment that goes, hey, you're going to need to become this other person to get through this. Right? I mean, at least a part of you is going to have to die, and a new part of you is going to have to come to life.
right?
Right? And the question is do I just stay back and go like, because a part of me is going like, no. And another part of you is going, well, do I need to do that? Guru says, that's the hardest part of life. What is the Swadharma?
Right. Because we hear also, I mean, that, like different personalities are going to be reading and feeling from the environment different kinds of impetuses according to their divine nature.
Yes.
Because like Guru Maharaj, didn't go to the West.
Exactly.
So because he felt that I will not be able to fulfill your desire. It is not my nature.
Right.
And that was also glorious. So it's a little, like you said, it's a very difficult thing. It has to be...
Oh, now I'm remembering. Yeah, because in Guru Maharaj's answer, he actually brings up Srimati Radharani, where she's feeling like, yeah, sure, I'll let all these other gopis actually serve Krishna. But then she's looking and she thinks,
They're not doing
they can't.
Yeah.
They're doing it wrong. So not out of a mood of like, I'm here to save the day, but out of a mood of like, I have to go forward because maybe I can actually add something here. Like, he's kind of saying, have that mood. That your only goal is the service of Krishna. And not in this like, here I am. But much more of like, is this what you want me?
Yeah.
Like,
sometimes he wants us to feel some weakness, I think.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of the time we feel, in this state of necessity, this state of dissatisfaction, this state of, am I doing what I'm supposed to do? I can't even do this. Like, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Like, we feel like that a lot. But to continue to push and give, despite that, that's a sacrifice, right? It's like there's some aliveness within you that you're ready to give every day. Because otherwise, why are you alive? If you're not here to give every day.
I guess it's just that it's difficult for one person to understand what another's duty is.
I mean, that's literally what Krishna's saying.
Yeah.
You have plenty on your own plate. You don't need to be looking around and going, my guy's not doing his Swadharma right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got plenty. You deal with what you got to deal with. And there's a rare role where you have some type of acharya relationship with someone where you're trying to help them navigate that. But that's all you're trying to do. You're trying to help them navigate their own relationship with reality. You're not trying to like make it or anything. You're not trying to create their relationship with reality.
Yeah, for example, I think about this quite a lot, and I know you do too, and we talk about it, and we all talk about this. For example, somebody could go to Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, heaven forbid, but and say, look, Krishna says you should be going out and preaching, you can do it. No man, you need to face this, and you need to get through it, and you need to become this thing. But that's not his seva. It's not like going to look the same in the case of each person.
Of
and I guess sincerity is invincible. That's where you.
But that's literally what this is saying.
Yeah.
You have your Swadharma. It's going to be asked of you. Yeah. Don't shirk from it. And at the same time, don't look around and go, oh no, this other guy's doing it wrong. Let me make sure that one's done correctly. Because you don't actually know what their journey is, and you don't know what they need to become, and you don't know if their Swadharma or their occupation, for example, their Swadharma means to change their occupation right now. And you're like, oh, that's your Swadharma.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you don't actually freaking know here at all.
Because sometimes withdrawing from a circumstance may be the right thing to do. But we don't, it's so subjective. Oh, anyway, I'm making it complicated, but I really...
No, it's not complicated. Yeah. I mean, it's not, you're not making it complicated. It is complicated.
It is difficult. It is.
The problem is that there's no right answer, and our mind is always trying to find the cheat code.
Yeah.
Which is like, here's what you do, and it's never going to be like that.
Right.
And embracing that level of uncertainty relieves us from all kinds of fundamentalism, but the fundamentalist inside of us doesn't like that.
Yeah.
Because then it's not ever under our control.
Yeah, it's true. Like even if you're giving instructions to others, but that is your seva, and you may learn many, many things in that seva that will adjust you. It's, it's always this, the Lord has to be in the center of everything. Every service is going to have adjustment and surrender within it.
That's right.
What a journey. It's very, very open, and the infinite has to have his play. I mean, he will always have his play, but we want to participate in that.
Fully alive.
And like Guru Maharaj said, everything you think you know about Krishna may be proven false if he likes it. He can change it all. It's like infinite, actually infinite.
Jaya.
It's mind-blowing. And he's so playful. And Guru Maharaj says, he is reckless. Oh, Krishna. Reckless. Just be ready to be whatever it is that...
We're working on a posture toward reality that doesn't have impositions either way. And if we're honestly interacting with the circumstance where we feel like I should not step forward right now, I should stay where I am, that's the other part of that video, because Guru Maharaj was like, the question is, do I step forward or do I stay where I am?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Guru Maharaj says, he said, it is, he goes, leaping forward should be something you feel very clear about.
Mm-hmm.
He says, if you don't feel no doubt,
Mm-hmm.
then you should stay back.
Mm-hmm. And stay your ground.
Stay your ground.
Stay your ground. And when the opportunity is clear, then go
Yeah,
forward.
I'm so glad we're having this discussion because I'm remembering this talk now. He's saying, like, you're going to have some sense inside of yourself. And he goes, and if you are not sure that you're ready to make that leap into the infinite,
Mm-hmm.
then stay your ground.
But be ready. When it becomes a clear time to go
Because
forward.
you have to understand your own capacity and faith and ability.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, he goes, it may be calling you, and you're just hesitating.
Mm-hmm.
But he said that's the hardest thing. The hardest thing is, do I jump forward or do I stay where I am? And that's a stage of relativity. That's a stage of practicing life. It's a madhyama stage.
Mm-hmm.
In the end, you're dancing in that
Mm-hmm.
in that way. That's Raga Marga.
Yeah. That remembrance is
Right.
so important.
This is a very profound verse, set of verses. Okay, maybe we can do one more.
It's, I've just been listening to,
That's actually like so you could say you could say that's like the perfection of karma yoga, is that you have some sense for that. You have some sense for your own duty because you're so full of desirelessness for outcome.
giving him, offering to the infinite, let him mold it in his own way and give the outcome to you.
Yes.
I've been listening to one talk, and I'm going to send it to you, Sue, because it's a very beautiful talk, and the devotees are talking about if the leader of your group of servitors in which you are placed, there's a leader that you don't have confidence in his position or what he's doing, then do you have to stay there? And Guru Maharaj is answering that in many, many, many ways. Like, no, you go on, you have to make a judgment there. And, but ultimately, approach it in surrender.
Right.
That the Lord is that. That doesn't mean you have to stick with it, but you need to find out what His purpose is with you in this particular circle.
Yeah.
It's a very nice talk, beautiful talk.
Jaya.
He said this is the most important factor of Bhakti Yoga.
Haribol. Because ultimately you're in relationship, you're in bhava with a supreme will. And if you live your life without constant deference and attention to that, then you're isolated. Now you cut yourself off. Now you're in Maya. You have to have that deference and awareness of that supreme will.
Yeah.
You're not alone making this decision, and you're not making the decision only for you. You're making it in deference to that higher will.
It's so astonishing. It's
And
astonishing.
Guru Maharaj is saying, like this idea that I'm going to see negativity within my circumstance. He goes, this is a beginning. For a beginner, you have to be careful. Oh, this circumstance is difficult. Guru Maharaj says that is quickly must be left. That all circumstances are good for me. That's actually the truth. Right? In the very beginning, you might have some like, oh, not this one, not that one, like that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, because we don't know how to judge the thing. We don't know how to judge the circumstance properly. Maybe we can't see outside of the vision of Krishna's will. We won't be able to see properly. We can't. We can't, because we're judging. There's no possibility of understanding anything outside of Krishna's will. It's, by definition, it's not real. It's not the conclusive thing. And what one person will do and another person will do can be very, very different in response. This is the thing, I'm just putting this forward, it's not just going to be one kind of thing. I mean, Srila Gurudev was very happy with me once when I couldn't accept a circumstance. And he really was. He's like, I knew you would be, this is who you are, this is very, because I didn't know how to manage it. And I guess that's part of the program also. Anyway, it can go on, this discussion can go on forever, but.
He's very alive. It always has to be navigated in relation to service, but also our own, what we view as our own capacity.
And even in dealing with others, that you think, oh, this person is just, they're this, that, and this, that, they don't know, blah, blah, blah. But if we don't, this person has come in my front, and bow down to that, and see that person according to how the Lord wants to, then we're very, very likely to misjudge in so many ways.
Yeah, that's why that verse, Bhagavad-Bhavamat, very important practicing verse. Hare Krishna. Okay, well, I think we can read actually 49 and 50, and then we'll start with 51 next. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigata spriha naishkarmya siddhim paramam sanyasena digacchati siddhim prapto yatha brahma tatapnoti nibodhane samasena kaunteya one who has the wisdom of detachment from all mundane objects, who is self-controlled, whose desires have gone. Such a person attains the perfection of transcending all duties in the world by renouncing the fruits of his actions. Kaunteya, now know from me in brief how the person who has attained transcendence of all duties reaches the transcendental plane of the Absolute. The ultimate state of knowledge, spiritual awakening. Paranishta.
Oh, I'll tell you a wonderful story I heard today from Guru Maharaj, and you've heard it probably before, but it feels like this is very much indicating the same thing, because he's renounced all desire. He's in a plane of transcendence. So when Srila Guru Maharaj is telling this story, that the Braja Gopis wanted to cross the Jamuna to give a sort of a service to Durvasa Muni and his followers. They wanted to feed him. So they were bringing all sorts of lovely things across, but they couldn't cross the Jamuna because she was so turbulent. So they went to Krishna, and Krishna just said, call out Krishna as a brahmachari. And so they called out Krishna as a brahmachari, and the Jamuna became very soft, and they crossed. And then they fed Durvasa, and very sumptuously, very happily. But then they were going to go back, and the Jamuna again was very turbulent. So they went to Durvasa, and they said, what shall we do? We can't get back. He said, Saint Durvasa is fasting. And then the Jaguna became very quiet. And Guru Maharaj said, Krishna is a brahmachari, meaning he has so many girlfriends, he's does so many things, but he has nothing, there's nothing mundane in him. It is all transcendental, has nothing to do with anything mundane. And Brahvasa, he's accepted all of these things, but not eating, but honoring Mahaprasadam. So he's fasting. He's not partaking in eating of anything material. So, I mean, this is like saying, he's he doesn't have any, he has no position of participation. He's detached. His mundane desires have gone, and so whatever he's doing is transcendental, and he's reaching the plane of the absolute. It's really a sweet story, isn't it? Very sweet story. Anyway, maybe it's not exactly, but I feel like it's putting me in mind of it anyhow.
Yeah.
What is detachment from the mundane objects? Self-controlled. He's not doing anything in a selfish mood.
Right. There's no desiring mode.
And therefore he's transcending all duties. Even if he's doing them, there's no mundane object in those duties.
True sannyasa.
Durvasa upavasi.
Right, because Krishna is saying, I mean, that's the very basic idea of karma sannyasa yoga. What's the difference between tyaga and sannyas? Krishna's saying, real sannyas is not renouncing actions, it's renouncing the desire for the fruits. So the action is being taken with no desire. Okay.
I want to say one more thing. The Srila Gurudev, Guru Maharaj said that when the cowherd boys are playing hide and seek with Krishna, sometimes they hide in the material world. They hide within the mundane personality. Yeah, but he could be doing anything. Doesn't, who knows who's who?
Yeah, that's a much deeper thing. Hare Krishna. Hare Namo Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hare Namo Krishna
Yadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopalo Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan.
Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinatha Madhana Moha. Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra.
Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda.
Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda.
Sanatan Bhata Raghuna.
Jaya Rupa Sanatan Bhata Raghuna.
Jiva Gopal Bhata Das Raghuna.
Sri Jiva Gopala Bhata Rasa Raghuna.
Jai Gosai Kori Charana Banda.
Jai Gosai Kori Charana Banda.
Jaha Haite Vignana Sadvishta Pura.
Jaha Haite Vignana Sadvishta Pura.
Jai Gosai Jara Muitarada.
Jai Gosai Jara Muitarada.
Savar Padarenu Mor Panchagras.
Savar Padarenu Mor Panchagras.
Adero Charano Sevi Bhakta Saneva.
Andira Charana Sevi Bhakta Saneva.
Janame Hare Amila.
Janame Mora Re Avila.
Gosai Tabe Vaje Kayoga.
Jai Gosan Jabe Raje Koilaba
Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Praka
Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prada Anande Bolo Hari Vaja Vrindavan Guru Vaishnava Pare Majai Jama
Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriya
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pare Padma Koriya Hari Nam Sankirtana Kori Narodamas Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Sadhako Srila Bhakti Rakshaka Siddhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Rupanuga Guru Varga ki Jai.
Jai.
Om
Jai.
Jai Srila SRIMAD Bhagavad-GITA Upanishad ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Shri Krishna Arjuna ki Jai. Kurukshetra Dham ki Jai.
Jai.
Devotees reading Gita tonight ki
Jai.
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 Go Premanande.
Vimal Krishna Prabhu expressing his he's offering his obeisances. Beautiful class tonight, very inspiring. Dandavats to you all.
Dandavat Bhimo.
Jai Bhimo.
So Induleka Didi,
Jai.
And
Ishta Devika,
That's
Ishta,
the
that's
wife
Bhimo's
of
wife.
Vimal Krishna,
Bhimo Krishna.
and
Dandavat Didi.
Lakshmi Priya Didi too.
Oh.
Shanta Didi also.
Lakshmi Priya from Mexico?
I'm not sure.
Uh-huh.
And there's a question from Q.
Uh-huh.
He's asking if the English equivalence from the Bhagavad-Gita series by Srila Prabhupada is the same as the word for word of the Srila Guru Maharaja.
There are slight changes in the word for word. But it's important to understand when you're translating another language, every translation is an approximation. Ultimately, we're trying to put into words something that's very, very rich and deep, and ultimately is conscious substance. Guru Maharaj has a particular perspective that he's presenting, and the translation of Prabhupada and the translation of Guru Maharaj are not actually in conflict with each other at all. In fact, Guru Maharaj, when he was a sannyasi with Srila Govinda Maharaj, they lived in the house of Prabhupada when he was a chemist in Calcutta for many years and discussed Bhagavad Gita extensively. So the Gitas are
Time and circumstance also.
being presented in a little different angle of vision, you can say, according to the audience and the time, place, and circumstance. Because the Gita is called hidden treasure, because ultimately this Gita is showing how Krishna is pushing everything to the plane of raga and to the plane of pure Sharanagati to him. So, we're going to get that toward the end of the chapter. There's some wonderful gifts that are contained in this Gita that are not contained anywhere else. In terms of understanding the feeling of unalloyed love of the soul toward the Lord.
Kyo says thank you. Haribo.
Haribo.
Awesome.
Okay, and Damodar Prabhu ki jai, Mahaprasad ki jai.
Jai.
Wish all you guys could have this Mahaprasad with us. Maybe you can show them.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I'm sure. Just 1 second, 1 second, guys. All right, let's go. Spanish rice. Whoa.
A beautiful guacamole salsa. Incredible handmade tortillas.
Whoa. Antibodies.
Yep. Some sour cream. And I don't know what this is. That is a very special sauce. That's
And the offering's not on yet.
Actually-
The offering's off, isn't it?
I think the offering is still on.
where is
Damodar.
Damodar.
This is your room.
anyways. Love you guys, Dandavats.
Damodar.
Burritos on us tonight. Tacos, burritos, enchiladas.
Ooh,
Alright. Always a pleasure to have you with us, dear devotees. Thank you for your association. Haribo. We wish you guys were here. Dandavat.